Hi, honey. Just sitting here enjoying a little sun with Pepper. This is Pepper. He's our rescue dog, and then I don't know if in a little bit you'll probably see Vincent. He's our rescue dog too. So that's our two kids that we have at home right now. Today's video, welcome. It's Wednesday. We're going to talk about intensities, and intensity is the brightness and dullness of a color. So when we're out here in the sun, we get a lot of full intensity color because it's very bright. But if you're trying to paint something like this chair and you have places that are in the shadows, you have to come up with a way to lessen the intensity of the color. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. Okay, we have been talking about color theory. And so in review, we've got the primary colors, the yellow, red, and blue. And when you mix two primary colors together, you get a secondary color. So your secondary colors are your orange, green, and violet. Today we're going to talk about complementary colors. And when you mix complementary colors are colors that are across the color wheel from each other. They are essentially mixing all three of the primary colors together. So if you mix yellow and violet, you're really mixing yellow, red, and blue because violet is made up of red and blue. If you're mixing yellow and green, again, you're essentially mixing all three colors because their green is made up of your yellow and blue. And so when you need to dull a color, you go and find the complement, and then you add a little bit of the complement to whatever color you're working with, and that will dull the color. So intensity is the brightness and dullness of a color. So when it comes straight out of the tube, that is considered full intensity. And then when you dull it with its complement, you are lessening its intensity. So we're going to just kind of play with a little bit of that and show you what we're talking about. So if we start out with orange, and we're going to just put some orange on the paper. Then we're going to take, and I'm going to put some blue. And we're going to go the other way with blue. Then I'm going to rinse it out. Use my paper towel so I don't have so much water. And we're going to do some blending. So if we blend that blue into the orange, you can see how it's starting to lessen its intensity. See how you can start seeing the orange brighter and how it just gets duller, kind of like a brown. And we can work our way down, and the more blue we have, the darker that color is. So in other words, like we're just adding a little bit of orange to the blue, then it lessens the blue. And so this will be a darker blue that would shadow something that you're painting in blue, where this would shadow something that you were painting in orange. You can see how that would dull down. All right, so now we're going to try another one. All right, so we're going to do red and green. We're going to mix some green, and then I'm going to mix my color out and then kind of dab it with my paper towel. And we're going to mix red into that green. And then I'm going to rinse out my brush. And just with some water, we're going to mix, and if you need to, if your green gets too dry, we're going to mix some of that green in with our red. So you've got full intensity right out of the tube. When you add just a little bit of green to it, see how it starts dulling it down? A little bit of green. If you hear barking in the background, it's just my dogs. They think that they need to be on everything. So we're filming this one from home instead of the center. So you can see how the 100% intensity blends down to a little darker green. If you were doing an apple and you added a green, you're gonna have like a darker red. All right, so now we're gonna just turn this around so I can do the last one. And we're gonna do the yellow to violet. Okay, so we're gonna start out with some yellow. And if you recall from an earlier video, I told you the yellow is the lighter of the pigment, so it doesn't take much color at all to change it. So you're not gonna need very much violet. You're gonna need more yellow than violet, just because it's a lighter pigment color. Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit of violet and we're gonna mix it in with your yellow. So if we just take some of that violet, mix it with your yellow, you can start seeing that yellow that's kind of toned down. Now, if you get in a real pinch and you don't have yellow ochre, this is one of the ways that you can tone down a yellow. See, it kind of makes almost a yellow ochre color. And as you have more violet, if you need to tone down a violet, so it's 100% intensity when it comes out of the tube, and when we add its complement to it, then it dulls it. So if you're doing a banana, that would be the brightest part, and then it would dull down, so you would shadow it as it goes down. All right, so that is what's called intensity. Intensity is the brightness and the dullness of a color. So it's the 100% brightest when it comes out of the tube. And then when you mix the two together, then it's dulled down. So we're lessening the intensity of red as it goes down this direction. We're lessening the intensity of blue. We're lessening the intensity of yellow, and vice versa on the other side. So full intensity, lessen intensity. All right, have a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. This afternoon I got to do some weeding in my garden, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye for now, and don't forget to wash your hands.